Hola, buenos días.
Buenas tardes, buenas noches.
This is Barb.
This is Estela.
And welcome to
Cafecito
and Crime.
So,
hello, everyone.
Buenos días.
Welcome to all of our new followers.
Listeners. Both. Las dos cosas.
Dude, like it's been crazy this past week. We've gotten so many awesome,
new followers, new
listeners. We really appreciate it. I've been hustling. Estela, not so much because I
do background stuff. You know what I mean? Behind the scenes.
Yeah. I'm the more out there one, so I do the forward stuff. Estela, she does the background stuff. But she's been kind of like off this week because she was gone. But she's back, so we're happy to have her anyway. But thank you so much for everyone. I just can't stop saying thank you.
No, I mean, I feel like that's all you can say, right?
What else can we do? But it was, I just, one day we're going to have like a lot of people listening to us, and one day we're going to have people make comments on our on our pods. Like if you go to Spotify. Wow.
Oh, le cambiamos el nombre.
Si le quieren ir al Spotify, ahí porque está bien fly, they have on the bottom where you can scroll up, not scroll, but it has like a little drag box, and you can put on there, what do you think about our...
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
And I put on there, it was fabulous.
Oh, okay. Myself. I mean, that's what you could do.
But I don't know.
You gotta hype yourself up.
Girl, like I was just telling you, if you don't love yourself, you have to...
¿qué me estabas diciendo? It's only you that matters.
Yeah.
Only whatever you think of yourself is what matters.
Nothing else matters.
So for everybody that's new, that's listening, Barbie is my sister-in-law. She's married to my oldest brother, but I've just known her half my fucking life.
Yeah,
so
we probably, it's a little bit more than half your life.
My life, yeah.
No, about half. No creas.
No, more than half. More than half.
No estoy tan grande.
No, pero yo estaba más chiquita.
No creas.
I was 14.
Estabas hecha una little mocosilla.
Una
mocosilla. But welcome to everyone again. So today our episode will be brought to you by Estela. And what are we talking about today?
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about, I think a lot of people have heard about this. I think me and you kind of went back on this case, who was going to do it. It's known as a Lululemon murder.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that.
It's also known as the yoga store murder. But
everybody's into Lululemon right now. I can't afford anything from there, but one day I am.
Sí, pero this was back in 2011. I never knew Lululemon went back that far, honestly.
Did anybody else know that it was that far? I don't know, back.
And it was already big back in 2011 from what I gathered from the research.
My sister-in-law, she's into that. She likes all the bag stuff.
The athletic look.
Excuse me. I don't know what's going on with our coffee is making us. But today we got coffee from one of our local place
that we go to.
I got my regular Americano because I changed it up. No, I'm just kidding. I never change it. I always get my regular Americano. And you got a latte, no?
Yeah, I always get lattes though.
You always get lattes. Mm-hmm. Lattes make you latte happy. And then last night we went to go watch Super Mario. Bro, if you're not watching Super Mario and you're not a Super Mario fan, like when you used to play it on your fucking 64 and shit, then
64, Super Nintendo.
What else? But I used to play the Mario Kart and the 64.
Nintendo 64.
But if you didn't, then what are you doing? You need to go watch it this weekend.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're going to be talking about the Lululemon case. Is that what you said? Okay.
Yes.
So let's wrap it up and let's go ahead and
grab your cafecitos
and let's get started.
So for today's episode, we are going to Bethesda, Maryland.
Bro, I didn't know it was in Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea. Why did I think it was like in Texas for some reason? I don't know why.
No, not in Texas.
I thought it was right here at the down the street.
And the fun, random, interesting fact about Bethesda, it's that it's one of the wealthiest cities in the country.
¿Qué?
I think it's like top 20, if I'm not mistaken.
What the fuck, really?
Yeah, it's a very affluent, like very well-off suburb of Washington, D.C. So,
it's because I'm living in the wrong place. I should be living there.
Yeah, in the East Coast, closer.
Sí.
The median household income is a little bit over $164,000.
What?
And the median home value is over $1 million.
Shut the fuck up. I had no idea.
Yeah. According to Zillow in 2022, it is also the second most educated city in the U.S. with 85.9% of adult population holding a bachelor's degree.
What the fuck? I had no idea.
Yeah. So it's just like a very well-educated, more
that's
than well-off,
awesome.
I guess, community.
I wonder if you move there, they'll be like doing like a census. Are you educated? Did you?
I mean, they have their...
a la escuela?
No.
No fui.
So, yeah, that's Bethesda, Maryland.
Cool. All right. Thank you for that, sister.
You're welcome. So I will be starting by talking about Jayna Murray, and then we'll get into Brittany Norwood. So, okay. So Jayna Murray was born on November 22nd of 1980 in Wichita, Kansas, to parents Phyllis and David Murray. She was the youngest, era la más chiquita, and she had two older brothers, Hugh and Dirk. At some point, they moved to Houston.
What?
She grew up in Houston.
They came to the age, bro.
Yeah. And growing up, Jayna was described just by her mom as full of energy. You know, I think most kids really are, pero esta way she wouldn't stop fucking doing cartwheels. No, anywhere.
Dude, like we have our niece is like that.
Yeah.
Our niece, one of our nieces, the older one from the three that my sister-in-law has, she is like that. That girl she dances 24/7.
Since she was little.
Since she was little, she's doing cartwheels. She's like, she thinks
we're like,
she's
bro,
doing
you're
like
gonna...
arm dancing and shit. And we're like, and then like now that she's older, it's hilarious. But when she was little, we're like,
we show her and stuff, those videos. She was, like I said, she was doing cartwheels, dude, all over the place. Grocery stores, out in public. Su mom dice que at home she had to move furniture para que no se diera en la madre.
Hilarious.
You know? So Jayna también, she always kept up with her two older brothers. She did everything that they did. When she was 11, she followed them on a 150-mile bicycle ride to benefit a charity.
What the fuck? 150 miles?
Yes. And she was 11.
Yo me muero, güey.
Yo me muero ahorita.
No, I can't even walk 150. I can't even walk 1 mile.
And también, she always played football with the neighborhood kids.
Stop.
Like, she
athletic.
Yeah. And and you'll see how she grew up being athletic. That's just who she was. And she was good at everything she tried. You know those people that are just...
Oh my God, that's my husband, dude. Everything he does, like we go bowling, he beats us.
And then I'm like, dude,
he beats us.
Really side story, when we go bowling, I'm like, bro, why are you going so hard?
Like,
it's just us.
He literally will do like the standing and shit. Like, se pone así como and I'm like, dude, it's our kid. He's 8. And I'm like, why are you going so hard? He's like, I'm going to beat you. I'm like, okay, calm down. But him and my other brother-in-law, the younger one, they're both like so competitive at everything we do, but like we can't go nowhere without them making it a competition.
And then we're here like we're like, okay.
I just want to drink.
And then they're like, oh, you got to strike, and I'm like, or gutter ball or whatever. And then we're all like, okay.
But Estella's like that too, guys. Y'all think she's not, but when we literally like, she's the only one that'll actually hit the ball.
We go play golf.
And I'm like, no, like she's like that. We golf, she's good at it. We play, but my husband, he's literally good at it. It pisses me off because I'm like,
but then he's good at it and competitive about it.
Yeah. So it's like, but Estella, she's good at it, at everything. Like, let's say that she's like, oh, I'm gonna try it, and then she'll try it, and then she fucking wins, and I'm like, I hate you, bitch. I'm over here looking stupid. So I'm gonna tell y'all a side story. This is stupid, but Estella, one time we went to play golf. It was my brother-in-laws, two of my brother-in-laws, and then my kids, ¿verdad? Y luego llegamos y estábamos todos chilling. I think that day was rainy.
It was this last time that we went?
Last time that we went. Y no, hombre. So then we're there y estamos todos chilling and everything. Y luego, I don't know why Estela and my daughter were talking to each other. Y luego my brother-in-law went. He went, and then like Estella's really close to him, so she's always hyping him up. And then she's all like, good job. And then
because you heard a hit. We heard a hit.
And so then I'm standing there watching him. I'm like, Estela, he didn't even hit the ball. This bitch was looking for the ball and shit. I'm like, ni le pegó.
It was literally right there in the little stand, and it was whatever.
It was funny. But
no side story. Sorry. So like I said, she was good at everything she tried. In high school, one of her coaches saw her, I think she was doing something. So he like went up to her and recruited her to, have you ever heard of throwing discus?
Mm-hmm.
So
obviously I haven't.
Obviously not. Yeah. I didn't either. So I Google it. And according to physiopedia.com, it is
according to Physis.
It is an event in which a participant throws a heavy disc into the distance to see how far you could throw it, you know. And
kind of like that ball thing que le avientas en Matilda.
Yeah, like that. And it's an Olympic sport.
Stop.
So the coach saw her. He's like, hey, do you want to do this? And she did it, and she started setting school records.
Stop. Like, I'm telling you, there's some people out there that just are good at everything. That's crazy. Good for her,
She was also a phenomenal dancer. I think she was really good at ballet, but she didn't have the body for it. She was more like an athletic build, you know? And for ballet, you're supposed to be like all like a delicate flower and stuff like that.
I guess because of the time period, because now we have plus size ballet dancers.
Well, maybe back then it was like the early 2000s. Yeah. But she was also like really good at tap dancing.
I wouldn't be good at that.
Me either.
I mean, I could zapatear like nobody's business.
Well, yeah. Pero tap dancing.
I mean, tap is different. It's a different part of the foot.
She was recruited to dance with the very well-known American tap dancer. She performed in New York, LA, Chicago, Washington, and here in Houston también.
Wow, that's crazy.
And she actually thought about being on Broadway and, doing that kind of performing. She wanted to do it kind of like as a full-time career, but decided against it when she was told by like an older dancer, like that had been more
experience
in the
maybe?
field.
Okay,
Told her that how short-lived your career could be in dance, because if you get injured or algo te pasa or you age out once you get older, you can only dance for so long.
But if she wanted to do it, she should have done it.
So she just kind of switched gears. She's like, well, if that's the case, let me just do something else.
Ay, pero if that's what she always wanted to do, pobrecita.
So she attended George Washington University in Washington, D.C., where she graduated in 2003 with a degree in business and communications. And after she graduated, she actually came to work here in Houston for oil and gas in marketing.
That's all we know here.
For about 6 years. And then she decided que quería hacer algo diferente. So she went back to school for her master's, but she didn't go just for one bitch. She went back for two.
Man,
she was doing dual.
Incredible, dude.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
She was doing dual degrees.
But you know what? Qué bueno. Good for her.
Yeah, good for her, for sure. She was a bad bitch.
Bad bitch of the story. Boop.
Yeah. She attended Johns Hopkins University, again, in Washington, D.C. And one of her masters was in business administration, and the other one was in communications.
Okay.
Desafortunadamente, Jayna would be murdered 10 weeks before completing both of her degrees.
That fucking kills me. Like, you know that story that we did? I still can't get over that guy's story, the one of in New York, que lo mataron,
Robert Bone?
Yes. I still can't get over.
He was in Washington también. Remember?
Yeah, but imagine like
everything he could have done.
That they could have done. Like
that they were doing for their...
could have been a better place just because of people like that. Not that we don't have good people out there, but dude, and then they get killed for no fucking reason.
Literally, this happened for no bitch. Okay, hold on.
Don't get me started.
Espérame.
Ya me voy a enojar.
Besides doing all of that, smart, amazing, athletic, Jayna was also, I'm sure we're not surprised, very adventurous. She had already skydived. She wanted to bungee jump. She loved to rock climb. She liked trapezing. And fucking trampolining?
Well, yeah, because she's like que le gustaba andar como haciendo twirls and stuff.
Yeah,
so I'm guessing that's why.
And she liked to do these types of things to places she would travel to. She would travel all over the place. And she wanted to visit all 7 continents before, like in her lifetime. But
that's a cool way to see it. Like, I want to, like, that's a cool goal to have.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you're like, I want to travel. Okay, pero ¿pa dónde vas a ir, güey? Like, like you want to travel, but... Like, where would you
like to be like, I want to see all 7 continents?
Exactly. That's so awesome.
Again, unfortunately, she only made it to 6 and she didn't get to Antarctica was the last one que le faltaba and she would not make it to Antarctica.
Dude, imagine going to Antarctica.
Like, how do you even fucking get there?
I'm pretty sure you can, pero como you can go to Alaska pero
Alaska's Alaska. I mean, you can go to Greenland,
That's what I'm saying, pero, I mean, yeah, I get it, pero like, como en barco, ¿no? En avión.
En avión, I'm sure.
Pero I don't know why I think of Antarctica whenever I always think of like hay mucho aire, todo eso, like it could be.
Have you ever seen 40 Days of Night?
No, of course
Josh
not.
Hartnett?
No, because I don't watch TV, remember? I have children. They take the TVs.
Oh, but it's an old movie. So you should have seen it before your children were born.
Y luego se mira como que, I imagine que se mira como like...
No hay sol.
Yeah, como que it's always windy and blowing and shit. I'm probably wrong, pero...
It's probably, you don't need the fucking wind, bitch, I'm sure.
I'm sure, pero what I'm saying...
That's how you imagine it.
Yeah, I wonder how, like, I'm going to Google it. A ver cómo gente vive allí.
I'm sure there's YouTube videos.
Dude, they have... It's probably on TikTok, bro. Everything's on TikTok.
I'm not a TikTok girly, but I always say go to YouTube,
Pero I'm just saying, like, you imagine, like, como han de tener, like
Eskimos?
Tienen carnicerías.
I don't think so.
No tienen elotería tampoco, like, así como para ir a comprarte una paleta o algo. ¿Para qué? Si hay paletas afuera,
Yeah, te sales si te haces paleta.
Te haces paleta.
Yeah.
So, okay. That's crazy. Pobrecita, dude. I feel bad.
So Jayna, I'm sure, no surprise here, just loved by everybody. She made friends anywhere she went.
Yeah, because she was so awesome.
She was honest and blunt, but not like in a mean way. You know how some people are very direct and a lot of people get offended by that? Excuse me.
Can't relate. I can't relate.
I get offended.
Yeah, she's always offended on everything I say.
She was goofy. She made people laugh, and she would get them to do goofy things with her. The life of the party, truly. And loud, bubbly. And she had the best laugh.
What was her birthday?
November 20th.
So what was she, a Sagittarius?
November 22nd, I'm sorry. I think she's
a Sagittarius.
Sagittarius.
No? Yeah.
Porque luego sigue Capricorn, right?
She's a cusp between Scorpio, because the last day of Scorpio was the 21st, and a Sagittarius. I was right. She's a Sagittarius.
And she, when somebody's laugh makes you laugh.
Yeah.
That's the type of laugh that she had. And she was just so accomplished.
Do you know
she was
how
just
tall she was, or was she
just 5'5"?
Oh, she was okay. Like Brittany. ¿Te acuerdas Brittany también? She was short. Mm-hmm.
No, Brittany was short.
No, we're talking about another case, guys. I'm sorry about that.
Brittany Drexel.
Yeah.
She was tiny. So at the time of her death, Jayna was working at Lululemon, a Lululemon store in Bethesda, Maryland. So she liked the company and what they stood for. They were very eco-friendly, and they promoted health and a fulfilling life, which seemed like she was all about.
Apparently, because she was all like athletic and stuff, and being good at everything.
And Jayna actually wrote a media plan for Lululemon for her communications class.
Okay.
And she decided to write her master's thesis on Lululemon. Her plan was to join Lululemon's top management team in Vancouver after she received both of her degrees. So that was her plan. Go in Vancouver, go work for them at Vancouver. That's where they were based off. Their headquarters, which would have worked out perfectly porque she would have been close to her novio. She had known him since 7th grade. They had been together for forever.
Not the 7th grade novio.
And he lived in Seattle, which was about like 2.5 hour drive.
Dude, I wish that I would live a little bit of her life. You imagine? Like, she's been everywhere. She's so athletic. Everybody loves her.
She's so smart.
She's smart. She's living
awesome.
Everywhere. That is so cool. She would have been awesome to be like a good asset for the world. For the world, yeah, for sure.
So that's where Jayna was in 2011. And she was 30 and happy and thriving. 30, flirty, and como dicen, and 13 going on 30.
30, flirty.
But she's not flirty because she already has her boyfriend.
I mean, she can
30,
still be
flirty, and thriving.
Yeah.
Yeah, 30. Okay.
She used to be.
Now we're going to be talking about Brittany Norwood. Now, I'm not sure exactly when she was born, just that it was in 1982. So Brittany was 2 years younger than Jayna. She was 28 at the time of the murder. And she was from Seattle. She had a very similar upbringing as Jayna, igualitas casi. Athletic as well, very social, driven, and at some point she even ran her own babysitting service.
Wow!
So she was a go-getter.
We got all these bad bitches in this story today.
Cuando ella estaba in high school, star soccer player. She even got a scholarship to attend a university in New York, and allá se movió with her sister. Brittany also came from a big, close-knit family. So she had a big family. She had 4 brothers and 4 sisters.
Damn.
So eran 9.
Yeah.
So 11 with her parents, but they were all very well educated. There were engineers in the family,
that is
doctors.
So awesome. I think that it has to do with your upbringing too. And they grew up somewhere
in
where
Seattle.
Yeah.
And también, same thing. Everybody loved her. Brittany too. Decían que she was always laughing and smiling, and she liked to have a good time. También she was bougie.
Yeah.
She liked brand stuff, labels. She liked the finer things in life. Skin, all right. Her hair was always done, and she was...
Can't relate.
She always had the best fit.
As we speak, ando bruja.
She went to the best restaurants to eat, and her apartment was like decorated impeccably. I think one of her coworkers at Lululemon said that she was like, had never seen a closet as neat as hers. Everything was just in order.
Organized.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Brittany, like Jayna, worked at Lululemon. Y Brittany no tenía mucho tiempo ahí en la tienda. I believe she'd only been there a little bit over a month. But she also liked what the company stood for. Same thing, very athletic. Like I think they said that Lululemon paid you to work out because that's what they promoted. A healthy.
Do I need to go find a job at Lululemon? Like I'm over there thinking, like, do I need to go do they get a good discount? Like,
and it seems
pero it seems like everybody there is so young and stuff. I would be like,
and that's the thing, like. A lot of the girls that worked at Lululemon had like master degrees and stuff. And it was kind of like a stepping stone to something bigger that they wanted to get to. Porque Brittany, her dream was to open her own gym. That was like,
okay.
To open her own gym. And she had recently emailed her resume to a luxury gym for a personal trainer position. That's what she wanted. She wanted to be a personal.
Was also
so she was fit. Yeah,
she was fit.
Yeah, she was fit for sure. And when she submitted her resume, she had actually been called for a second interview.
Okay.
Yeah, and like I said, her dream was to open her own gym eventually.
So awesome. I love women that are driven for stuff.
And both Jayna and Brittany estaban trabajando juntas the night of March 11th, 2011.
Not 11/11.
When the events in today's case took place. So the morning after, on March 12th, la manager de la tienda, Rachel Ortley, I think is her last name, made her way to the store right before 8 a.m. So Rachel vivía right across the street in an apartment complex. So she literally just walked like 30 seconds y llegaba a la tienda.
I have a question. So the Lululemon store, I remember the case better vaguely. So was it inside of a mall?
It's a strip.
In a strip?
Like
it
outside.
wasn't like in a mall.
No.
Like
Era fuera.
got it. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. So I can give myself my visual, you know.
And as she opened, she tried to unlock it, but she realized que estaba abierta. And she didn't think anything of it. She just kind of got like a little bit annoyed that whoever locked up the night before just forgot to lock the door. So se metió para adentro and she walked and everything seemed fine until she started getting kind of towards the back of the store.
Mm-hmm.
Y es cuando she started to see que mannequins were just thrown on the floor. There were tables, que hay mesas con ropa arriba. And they were just all over the place. Clothes were on the floor. And then she started to see blood.
Oh, shit.
And glass. And they had like a TV. It was shattered on the floor.
Otra.
And when she saw like the blood and the bloody footprints, she just fucking hauled ass out of there.
So there was blood and bloody footprints.
And everything was trashed. So she hauled ass out of the store. Y se salió para afuera. And outside was like a young man. And she went up to the young man, se llamaba Ryan, and kind of, told him a little bit. So he offered to go with her inside the store.
Not call 911.
No, not yet. So that wouldn't have made a difference, honestly, pero.
Let's take a quick break.
Persons of Interest is back, and it's bigger than ever.
That scream will echo in my head for many years.
Taser, taser, taser! He's gonna shoot!
Oi! Shot fired. Shots fired, shots fired.
Stay out, you got a gun on you!
He had the perfect aim.
I am absolutely stressed at that point. I have no idea where my officers are.
Persons of Interest available everywhere you get your podcasts.
I mean, yeah, but I'm just saying that's the first thing I would be like, I'm calling the popo.
I'm not going back inside.
I am not going nowhere near that place until somebody comes and opens the door of the popo.
So Rachel se quedó como en la entrada de la puerta, and then Ryan es el que se metió para adentro, and he went.
So Ryan was just like a bystander? Like
he was out sitting
walking?
outside. No, he was just sitting on a bench outside. There was an Apple store next door, and the iPad 2 had just come out. So there was people all over the place waiting for the fucking iPad.
Somebody would have came up to me while I'm waiting for an iPad 2. And somebody would have been like, hey, there's like blood inside the store. And I'll be like, okay, what you want me to do about it? Like, not me. I don't know about you, but I'll be like, okay, good for you. Do you need my iPhone to call 911?
For real? I was like, did I have an iPhone back then? I don't think so.
No, we probably didn't, pero como quiera.
I think I was still on Android in 2011.
Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry about it. We all were.
we were all there.
We're there.
So Ryan se metió para adentro. And he walked to the back and passing the changing rooms and the bathrooms, and he yelled, if there's anybody in here. Pero nadie le contestó. So he kind of walked a little bit and he saw like a half open door and he pushed on it, but he realized that it wouldn't go all the way, like it wouldn't open all the way because there was a body right there.
No, sir. I would have been the fuck out of there.
And the body he could see from like the little crack that he could see through, que estaba lleno de sangre. It was blood everywhere. Ryan, as soon as he saw that, también hauled ass out of the place. But as he was running back, pasó por los baños and he saw that there was somebody in one of the restroom. The door was open y que estaba alguien tirado en el piso. And it was a woman. She had blood on her and cuts all over her hands.
Not the blood.
The blood on her and had cuts all over her hands and arms and upper chest. And he could see that she had like a big ass gash like right on her forehead, like nomás lleno de sangre. And he saw that her hands had been zip tied. And he saw that her feet también. And he could see that her chest was the person's body that was on the floor. He could see that their chest was moving. So se salió de la tienda y he met up with Rachel, and estaba Rachel like at the very front of the store.
Can you please tell me that Rachel already called the cops?
And Rachel called the cops.
Thanks.
Y llegaron immediately, 911 got there within minutes. The officer that arrived, she made her way inside and to see if there was anybody in the store, She walked to the back where there was a door that led to a hallway. Mm-hmm. She opened that door and saw blood in that little hallway. It was on the walls up to 6 feet high.
What the fuck? There's blood everywhere.
That hallway led to a door that led to the outside. And those exit doors, they have those exit pushes where you're supposed to push like the little bar that lets you exit. Yeah.
It's kind of like the lock.
Yes.
Yeah, uh-huh.
So ese push bar estaba lleno de sangre también, had like a handprint. And she saw that there was a woman laying on the floor, like again in a pool of blood, face down. And the officer leaned over to check for a pulse, but there wasn't one. And that was Jayna Murray.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, Brittany was alive and she was transported to the hospital. Now, Detective Dina Mackey went to the hospital, to the ER, and to interview Brittany. Y Brittany le dijo a la Detective Dina that she and Jayna closed together the night before on March 11th, that the store closed at 9 and that they left around 9:45 because, you have to like sweep or count the registers and all that stuff. You have to do like closing duties.
No, and fold all the clothes that everybody, que los pinches huerquitos andan moviendo and shit.
Yeah.
Or like me, the lady que quiere el pinche size extra large que está hasta abajo, Which I need to talk to somebody about that. They should put 2 sizes, like small to medium on one side and then large to 3X on the other side para que puedas, like 2. Porque si ponen todos los pantalones, bro, I swear, last weekend we went to the mall with my nieces and I wanted to get el más grande de abajo. Saqué el pinche pantalón, todos volaron.
Yeah,
I was like,
they topple over.
I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah, we need to talk about that.
Cuando se fueron, like at 9:45-ish, Jayna made her way to her car and Brittany made her way to the Metro subway. And as she was on her way down the elevator to get to the subway, Brittany reached for her wallet inside her purse, pero no lo tenía. And then she realized that she must have left it at the store. So le habla a Jayna, calls her real quick, and asked her if she could return back to the store since Jayna had the keys. Jayna le dice que sí, and they meet back at the store like around 10 p.m. There, they se metieron, but they didn't close the doors behind them.
Because they were going to go in real quick.
Right.
Según ellas.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They looked for Brittany's wallet for about 10 minutes y no la pueden encontrar. So Jayna le dijo a Brittany, yo te presto mi Metro card. And, and we'll just look for your wallet tomorrow.
Yeah, porque era tarde.
Yeah.
Era tarde.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So as they made their way to the front doors to leave, Brittany says that there were 2 males inside the store already. And that they were dressed in black head to toe and that they were wearing ski masks. One of the suspects attacked Jayna first y le pegó on the back of her head. And then she was dragged to the back of the store by her hair.
Oh, wow.
And Brittany says that he just kept on hitting her and hitting her and hitting her. Then Brittany was struck in the back of the head and dragged into the restroom where she was zip-tied, as I mentioned earlier. Mm-hmm. And that's how she was found. She was fighting her attacker, and he told her that if she said another word, he was going to slit her throat.
Wow.
Y tenía una knife of some kind.
Not the knife.
And, se estaba moviendo. She was like wriggling around and stuff. Y que he also told her that if she didn't stop moving, that he'd make sure she never have kids.
What?
And that he then proceeded to cut her like all over her stomach. And there's pictures of all the cuts that she had. And then the men, it was bad. Like just kept yelling like racial slurs at her. And then he proceeded to brutally sexually assault her.
Sexually assaulted. Mm-hmm. Brittany, great. Mind you, she was saying bad, talking...
Major shit.
Major bad things.
Bad things.
Oh, okay.
After, the attacker demanded that Brittany show him how to open the cash registers and the safes that were under the cash registers.
That just makes no sense, though.
Brittany says that she could hear Jayna screaming and that she could hear that Jayna was fighting her attacker también. Because remember, Jayna was not... Yeah. She was strong. She was athletic. Besides what they were wearing, Brittany also told Detective Dina that the attacker sounded white because the detective asked her, could you identify their race? And she was like, no, I couldn't see anything. They were all black. And the detective asked her, well, what about their voice? Based on their voice. And then she was like, well, they sounded like they were Caucasian.
How do you sound Caucasian? And
that one of them was over 6 feet and that the other one was 5'3", pero que los dos were of medium build. Now, back at the crime scene, Detective Drury and Detective, I think this is how you say his last name, it's Ruvin, Ruvin, were trying to piece together what happened. Like I said, the back of the store was completely trashed, and the safes and the registers were open. There wasn't any money in there. Receipts were on the floor flying everywhere. There were chunks of Jayna's hair from where she was being dragged to where they found her.
Oh my God.
And in the back hallway that led to the back door where she was found, as I mentioned earlier too, there were bloody footprints. And again, blood everywhere. And it seemed, and those bloody footprints seemed like somebody tried to exit that door. But when they opened the door, the bloody footprints didn't continue outside.
Then they make it to the outside.
Right.
Okay.
They realized that, I mean, Bethesda was such a small community, a safe community.
Yeah.
That they were like, as soon as this hits the news, people are going to like go crazy. So they kind of wanted to figure it out as soon as they possibly could. So they began looking for Jayna's car, porque Jayna's car no estaba en el parking lot. Mm-hmm. An officer who visited the crime scene dijo that he saw a car matching Jayna's description in a random parking lot the night before, like around midnight, and that it had Texas plates.
Houston, Texas, baby. Okay.
And that he remembers that somebody was sitting in the front seat. So investigators made their way to the parking lot, which was only 3 blocks away from the Lululemon store. And the car was impounded and taken for forensic testing. The next day, they decided to see if there were any stores in the area that had surveillance.
Yeah, the cameras and stuff, right? I would have. That's the first
like
thing
I mentioned just a little bit before, Bethesda is such a safe place that it wasn't common for stores to have cameras.
What? Stop it.
But that there was one store that did. The Apple store that was next door.
Well, sí, pues
because it's
high profile.
It's like tech company, you know?
Yeah.
And it was right next door to the Lululemon store. So la cámara estaba located in the back of the store by the back door of the Apple store. And when they pulled up the video, it showed 2 men walking past the back door, like coming from the Lululemon direction.
Okay.
And they were dressed in all black.
Really?
Wearing knit hats that looked like could be rolled down and be ski masks.
What the fuck?
And one of them was wearing a backpack where you could stash shit that you stole, right?
Wow. Dude, this is like a big break.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Now, the thing is that it wasn't like 100% accuracy that they were coming from the Lululemon store. It just looked like they were coming from that direction, but that didn't mean that they came from the Lululemon store, right?
Yeah.
But they match lo que Brittany les había dicho al detectives. So Detective Reuben decided to stake out the store because you couldn't see the guys' faces on the video.
They couldn't see much from the video.
Right, you could see the back of them.
No se miraba ni colorera, ni nada. And I imagine that back then they weren't as good as now, las cámaras, no?
Yeah, like HD
I mean,
and stuff.
It's been almost 13 years or 12 years, whatever it is, yeah.
So like I said, Detective Reuben decided to stake out the store. And he just people watched, you know? And 2 days after the attack, he saw 2 men wearing all black. And he approached them and showed them pictures of the men that had been caught on the video. And que le dijeron, oh yeah, that's us.
¿Qué? Se me atoró el pinche café. What the hell? You just willy-nilly. Sí, ese soy yo.
I'm not even going to lie about it. That's us.
What the fuck? ¿Y luego?
So these 2 guys worked at a restaurant that was also on the strip. Those busboys were actually just on their way home that night.
Yeah. So I guess that's why they were like, yeah, that was us.
Yeah, they didn't care because they didn't do anything wrong, you know?
Yeah, of course. They were just walking home.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now they were just back to square one, la policía.
Yeah. They didn't have any leads again?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So 3 days after the attack and Jayna's murder, Jayna's autopsy report had been completed. And it was brutal. And I don't think I remembered how bad it was until I started looking it up again.
Yeah, because we've heard a lot of shit. So
a lot
how
of
bad
bad
was
stuff.
it? A ver, cuenta.
It's probably one of the worst ones ever that we've ever done or I've ever heard of.
The fuck?
The pathologist, Dr. Mary Ripple, who had already done 3,000 autopsies, says that she had never seen anything like it. Y dijo que Jayna suffered 232 blunt force trauma injuries and 99 sharp force injuries.
Fuck.
So it was 331 total.
Damn, dude. What the hell?
More than 100 were to the head. 37.
Dude, she got hit in the head 100 times?
Yes. Wait. More than 100 were to the head. 37 of the wounds were to just the back of her head.
Wow.
The top of her skull was cracked in 8 places.
Dude.
39 injuries were to her actual face, which was noted as being defiled like a jack-o'-lantern.
That is so horrible.
But how do you hit somebody 331 times?
I don't understand. How is that even? First of all, like, that must have been really exhausting.
Yes.
Because imagine, like, si me canso de aquí a subir las escaleras, güey. Te imaginas, like, trying to fight somebody that, mind you, this girl, she was athletic.
Yeah,
like,
she was muscle.
She wasn't a punk. Like, I'm not calling her a punk, but
she wasn't like a little delicate flower.
Like, delicate flower. I mean, she was a flower, but I mean, she wasn't
a strong flower.
Yes, she was like a cactus, a cacti.
A cacti.
So,
a cacti.
A cacti. So what I'm saying is, like, that must have been, like, whoever was either was way bigger than her.
Yes.
Or was as athletic as she was, right?
Pero también como dicen, like, that has to be really exhausting. Porque just hitting somebody, or I think they said in the episode that I watched, I think Line of Duty, it's what I watched this case on. I can't remember if it was the prosecutor that said, like, even just, it would be hitting her 50 times and you're going to be exhausted.
Imagine, bitch.
But you hit her another 270 something times.
Like, imagine, like, 100 times. Like, that's
just 100 times.
Just 100, dude.
In the head.
And in the head, it's like kind of hard to aim there, you know, porque imagínate,
they were struggling.
They were struggling. And then the person that she's trying to hit in the head, like, she must have, like, gone really close porque, or he, whatever it was that.
Well, they probably cornered her in that hallway.
I know. But the thing is, I don't know, pobrecita, dude. I can't even imagine. Y luego?
So she had rope injuries on her chin and neck. Mm-hmm. And then she had, like, also, like, obviously contusions on her legs, her arms and stuff. But what actually killed Jayna was a 3.5-inch stab wound to the cerebellum, which is between the lower back of your brain and the spinal cord.
Damn, dude.
So Jayna, obviously, like you said, she was athletic.
I mean, she was probably, like, moving around. Y fue donde le pegaron, donde they finally made her stop moving, you know? That's crazy.
So Jayna fought her attacker because 105 of her wounds were actually defensive.
As she fucking should. Good job.
And according to Dr. Ripple, Jayna actually lived through the 330 injuries. And it was the knife to the back of the brain that just killed her, like, straight up killed her. But she was alive for everything else.
She was a fucking fighter, dude. I don't give a fuck. She was a fucking bad bitch. She was like,
do you think it's adrenaline that's running through your body?
Yeah, definitely. So a lot of the times, I don't know if you've seen, I know we've seen a lot of shit, but most of the times it's like even the adrenaline can even stop blood flow because you're just going so fast that you can't sometimes.
Do you think that people don't realize what adrenaline actually can do to you or makes you do? No. Like, you can do so much on adrenaline that you don't even realize.
Like, imagínate como las mamás que they have a baby and
That's
stuff.
That's what they say, that it actually makes a mother can lift a car off their child on adrenaline, right? I could probably
lift the fucking train off my kids if I had to. Like, no joke. Like, at that moment, like, you're just trying to, all you're thinking about is your child. Like, you don't feel any pain.
Right.
It's crazy.
You're just going.
Yeah, like, and it's like, you imagine this poor girl that was and she was just trying to survive. And
I think about her because she was 30. I'm 31, you know. Fuck, I'm not 160 pounds of lean muscle, but
I'm 32, girl. So, I mean,
but I can't imagine somebody that I know that are like my friends that are my age and stuff like that going through something like that. Like, I can't.
No, that's crazy. Can't imagine. Like, you have to have some fucked up kind of brain or some fucked up kind of like rage to do that, to corner somebody like that and just do that. Te imaginas, like, ni que fuera like a rat or something, cucaracha, you know, like, this is a human being. Like, I just can't imagine. Yes, like, they have feelings. You have feelings. Like, you didn't give a shit. Like, damn.
I wonder if people that do this, do you black out and it comes to a point where you actually realize what's happening, but you still continue to do it?
No sé, because
you're not a murderer.
I'm not a murderer. Right, last time I checked, but I do.
Or an intruder.
Or a detective. Or a lawyer.
Or a police officer.
I'm not that as well. But I'm going to tell you something that I did see I do watch a lot of TV, and a lot of the people that say that they've killed somebody or whatever is because they don't remember or they black out. They use that a lot. Like, I blacked out.
And I'm sure that's true, but that can't be true for, okay, let's say 331 times. At one point, you're going to realize, or te va a dar el 10 o te va a caer el 20.
De que
you're fucking killing somebody. But at that point, do you just
nearly like chopped her up into pieces? Like, do you imagine? She doesn't have that much body.
Right. She's 5'5".
Like, to stab 300 times, like, that sounds like they're almost butchering her.
It's an animal. That's whoever did that was a complete animal.
Qué horrible.
So obviously the police were just like completely flabbergasted, and they didn't know what to think. This was way more than an overkill. Yeah. And the actual weapons that were used to beat Jayna were from items around the store. And it was up to 10 different weapons.
10?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Up to 10. Which included a hammer, a wrench, a straight edge box cutter, a wheeled box cutter. Am I saying box weird?
No, you're just weird in general.
Okay. A metal peg that was used to hold up mannequins, a steel rod that was used for hanging clothes, and a possible razor, rope, and the actual knife that was used to stab her and kill her, which was what the girls used to trim fresh flowers to put on the actual sales floor.
That's so, like, ridiculous to me porque haz de cuenta que you're like, okay, this is not working. Let me get something else.
Like, do you just leave her there and go get something else?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know the mechanics in that.
I can't think that everything is in one place. Or maybe because everything was in that little... She was found in that hallway. So was all that just there?
Todo was just in one corner? Like, I don't get it. Or did this person, like, put it together in a pile? Like, let me get all this tin shit and let me go ahead and...
But were you just gathering all this stuff while the girls were looking for the wallet because they're already inside the store? Like, what was going on?
We need to get more answers, please.
Horatio,
hurry up.
So a tip line was actually set up, and over 300 tips came in a few days. The police followed up on all the tips that came in, and most of them, people I think were trying to help because they were scared in the community and they wanted the police to catch.
Well, this didn't happen often there. So,
no,
I mean,
of course
they were like, okay, something needs to be found.
Right, done. Yeah. And I think that most of the people were trying to help, but a lot of them led to nowhere, pretty much. A lot of the tips led to nowhere. But there was one call that brought in a promising lead. And it was about a homeless man named Keith Lockett.
Not the homeless man.
The homeless man. When you say not the homeless man, it makes me think. I can't remember that girl her name that makes skits of the Kardashians. Mm-hmm. And then Chloe con sus nails que este.
Oh my God! And then they put like paper como
post-its. And then Chloe's always saying not the whatever, right?
Yeah,
like not the homeless man.
Not the homeless man. Girl.
So I already said that. It makes me think of her.
No.
She's fucking funny.
Yeah.
And so this homeless man.
Wow.
This homeless man named Keith Lockett, he was known to be kind of like, he would like bug people. Uh-huh. Like he would get in people's faces. He was kind of like a nuisance. And he carried all his belongings in a backpack. So if you're like, they were like, okay, we're going to look into Keith Lockett.
Did Keith have all of those things that were used? All of those weapons were in that backpack? Like he had all of the weapons, like the ganchos and shit, he had them in the backpack?
No, I don't know. He just kept his belongings.
His belongings in the backpack.
Belongings.
Okay, because...
And Keith was known to hang out regularly at a specific bar. Pero en esa noche, on March 11th of 2011, he wasn't at that bar.
Okay.
So Detective Ruben asked around the area about Keith and habló con un manager de una hardware store. Y ese manager le dijo que on that Friday, he noticed que
Keith.
What is wrong with me? Let me drink more caffeine. 1 second. He noticed that Keith was walking con un white guy down the street looking sus. And that Keith always hung out alone, pero que specifically en esta noche, he was with this guy.
He wasn't alone. He's with his friends, his imaginary friends.
But he always hung out. I don't think people can see. I was about to say, I don't think people can see your imaginary friend.
But I'm just saying. He wasn't alone
the guy thought it was weird porque como dije, Keith siempre se pasaba solo.
So yeah, no tenía nadie, pero en esa noche estaba con esta persona.
Which would make them two guys.
Okay.
Right? So
and then and then
they were being sus.
Okay.
So detectives do all they can do to locate Keith, and they actually do find him at a hospital 10 miles away. And he had checked himself in with all these injuries and shit. And blood on his clothes.
Oh shit.
So detectives get to where Keith is at and they interrogate him. And Keith les dice that he was assaulted by a guy at a bar on Saturday night, not Friday. And that the blood on his clothes was actually fresh and not dry, which kind of made...
¿Cómo se dice?
Coincide. Sí, coincide
con eso. Okay.
Que Keith wouldn't be their guy because the blood would be dry. So, and then de por sí, el pobre, he seemed to be all over the fucking place. Like, he couldn't even form a sentence together.
Ay, pobrecito, amiga.
I don't know what was wrong with him. I don't know if he was on something, pero it didn't seem to the detectives that he would, like, be this mastermind to commit this heinous murder. And then, he could get away with it or play it off that he wasn't the one that did it.
Not only that, what 10 types of different objects. And then on top of that, tie somebody up. It would be too much for him. It'd be too much.
They were back to square one. Keith was not their guy. So they decided to go back and look over the crime scene, hoping that it would generate some sort of new lead for them. And for that, they decided to bring in David McGill, who was a forensic specialist and a shoe expert.
That's what I want to be.
A shoe expert?
I want to be a shoe expert. Not a shoe expert. I want to be a forensic shoe expert.
Okay. Forensic shoe expert. So according to Dave, there were at least 3 people moving around at the scene after the blood was already all over the crime scene. Mm-hmm. There were 2 obvious shoe impressions, but they couldn't find the third.
Okay.
Now, at the crime scene, there was a pair of large men's Reebok sneakers that were left behind, which were a size 14. They were found in a rack in the back of the store, and that impression matched one of the sets of the bloody footprints around the store. And they had blood on top of them. Like los zapatos, donde tienes like las agujetas and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that had blood, but the actual bottom of it, like the soles, were clean.
That's weird, huh?
And they were
suspicious.
And they were missing shoelaces.
Not the shoelaces.
Okay, Khloe Kardashian.
First of all, this shoelaces that was missing reminds me of, I remember when I was younger, I used to watch Blue Streak. And in Blue Streak,
with Martin Lawrence,
there was a part there when he comes out of jail.
Like the beginning?
At the beginning, he's missing a shoelace out of his shoes. And he says, what are you going to do with one shoelace? Floss your ass. That's what it reminded me of. Y'all, I know, and somebody out there, if y'all remember this, please let me know in our comments.
From what year? Like 2001? ¿Salió esa película?
Ay, güey, no me acuerdo, but it's a while ago.
It's an old movie, but it's a good movie. It's a funny movie.
Oh my God, it's hilarious. This is one of my top 5s.
Yeah, Martin, or just like in general?
No, in general.
Oh, okay.
My top one, you already know. I know the whole fucking movie by heart. Friday After Next.
Yeah.
Yep.
So David McGill, they tried they tried to find the third impression, but they never could. Now, Detective Drury and Ruben go talk to Brittany to see if she could give them something that might point them in the right direction. And up to that point, they hadn't met Brittany. Remember, she was in the hospital. It's only been a couple of days since the attack.
Yeah, because it seems like it's been a while.
No,
so
like
it's been a couple of days. Okay,
yeah, like things they were on it. You know, they were for sure.
Well, I mean, obviously, because unfortunately, ¿qué es eso tú? Me atoré.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and where's it from? In Bethesda. I mean, that's not something that's common. So I'm guessing that they're like, we have to figure this out. ASAP. Like if it would have happened in Harris County or in
Houston.
Harris County is the biggest county in here. So if it would have been something that always happened more often, maybe they won't
in
be
a big city.
In a bigger city, it won't be as in a rush, as they would there,
So Brittany, shaking and crying, retold her story. Detective Ruben asked her about the shoes that were left behind at the scene.
With one shoelace. I mean, with no shoelace.
With yeah.
I'm kidding. Okay.
So Brittany told them that those shoes belonged to Lululemon. They were used for men to wear while they were being measured for alterations. So I guess they would measure your pants to like your exact dimensions.
Or maybe, okay. I guess that's a Lululemon, like something that is for Lululemon,
Right.
Si vas a pagar $1,000, for a pair of pants.
Yoga pants, right. So they had a pair of women's and men's shoes that they would wear, meanwhile they were being measured for alterations. Mm-hmm. So those shoes didn't belong to the attackers. Brittany also told investigators that the attackers knew her name y que sabían dónde vivía.
Huh?
Dijo que one of them must have gotten into her bag that night where she had bills that contained her information and that they knew where to find her.
Well, technically, she did lose her wallet. Right. So do you think that that's where they got her information
That it was in the store or something? That's what she thinks.
I mean, it's possible. Yeah, it's possible. Uh-huh.
And then that she was scared that they were going to go back for her.
Okay.
Which I kind of understand because one of them died and then you're alive. So if they have their information.
I mean, technically, why would they leave her? I'll be scared. Yeah. Right. I'll be scared. Yeah. Okay.
So to Detective Ruben, las cosas no estaban cuadrando.
Yeah. I don't know about this.
He went over his notes and over the crime scene and thought about how these robbers came into the store with no weapons.
I said that since the beginning.
You sure did.
I sure did.
All of Jayna's injuries were from objects found inside the store. The zip tie that Brittany was tied up with were from the store.
Bro, you like if you were a robber, like you would have to know where the shits was at. Like you can't just
way. You would come prepared. You would bring your own shit, right?
Your own shit. I'm saying, pero like you would have to know like in what drawer estaba el knife or in what place they have the zip ties. Like
or
I don't
wrench.
think everything is all in the same spot.
Right.
I mean,
there's no way.
Know.
I don't think somebody would be that lucky to find all that shit in one spot to attack somebody with.
If you're using ganchos and shit, like that shit's not in one spot. Like you have to be like, oh, let me go find this gancho. Or like you said that they had rope and shit. Like, no, I just don't know. Algo no está bien. I don't know.
The shoes that had blood on them belonged to the store.
Uh-huh.
And the bloody footprints that led to the back exit but didn't lead to the outside. So to Detective Rubin, it seemed that the attacker never left the store.
I said that too, because I'm Horatio right now.
The discrepancies in Jayna and Brittany's injuries was another thing, right?
Uh-huh.
Brittany's wounds were superficial and they were on their way to she was healing. The bitch was getting better. And then why kill one and not the other?
I said, yeah, I just don't understand why, if they were so enraged to kill somebody with 300.
I mean, did they have like a personal vendetta against Jayna? ¿Les hizo algo? ¿La conocían?
Maybe. Or, well, the thing is, whenever she said she was being sexually assaulted, they were saying racial slurs to her. To Brittany. So then if that's the case, then wouldn't you think they would kill the one that was, I don't know. I'm just saying.
So Detective Rubin shared his thoughts with the rest of the investigation team and told them that he thought that, straight up, just said, I think Brittany killed Jayna.
Yeah.
And the team pretty much was like,
no, bitch, you crazy.
No way. There's there's no fucking way. Brittany was tiny. She was 5'2", 5'3", and about 120 pounds. How could she inflict so much damage on someone, especially her coworker, and for what reason?
There was no reason. Mm-hmm.
What was the reason? Como dice Cardi B.
What was that reason?
Detective Rubin, he was like, I get why it sounds crazy. Like, I get it. But if you look at it from this perspective, look at it through this lens. Forget everything and just look at it from this lens of Brittany killing Jayna, and look at the crime scene from that lens.
Okay, let's say that it was really Brittany, and let's say that I'm Brittany, and let's see the crime scene in that way. Okay, I get it. Okay.
And then they were like, okay. So Detective Rubin didn't, he continued doing his thing, and he continued with his hunch. He went back to David McGill, the forensic and your dream job shoe specialist.
One day, I'm going to be a shoe specialist. How do I apply for that shit? Can you tell me?
No, I don't know.
Okay. Is it on Upward or something like that? No?
Upward?
¿Cómo se llama el este where you go apply for jobs?
Indeed. Upward? What? Detective Rubin told David about his thoughts, about what he thought about Brittany. And he asked him what could be found or what would be found at the crime scene if there were no other attackers, and it was actually just Brittany and Jayna at the store, and Brittany was the one that killed Jayna.
Okay, so at this point, he's trying to figure out what the shoe specialist
would say about the scene from that lens.
Get it. I get it. Okay. ¿Y qué dijo?
David stated...
No, es que David es el pinche chingón.
He's like, he knows his shit.
He knows his shit.
David stated that if that was the case, the zip ties that Brittany had been tied with around the wrist would have teeth marks. And there would be blood inside Jayna's car because remember, Jayna's car was moved and it was found elsewhere. So that's what David's saying, David McGill.
But I have a question. So they had not processed the car to see if there was any blood in it before?
It takes a little bit to process a car. Remember, it's been only like 3 days here.
That's why I'm not a detective.
3-4 days.
Okay, yeah. Get it. Okay.
So sure enough, the zip ties had a distinct mark on them. Because if Brittany was the one that did this, the only way that she could zip tie her hands is that she pulled it with her teeth.
Bro, so smart.
So smart.
I'm telling you, David is the shit.
And remember that her car had been found and sent to get processed, like you were just asking about. Yeah. Well, there was blood found in it. And it was on the gear shift, the steering wheel, and inside of the door buttons. And there was a Lululemon hat that was found in the back in the back seat that had blood on the inside of the brim, which aligned with the gash that Brittany had on her forehead.
Holy shit.
And it matched her blood.
Nope, that's it.
She did it. No, I'm just kidding.
Case closed.
They also went back to the men's shoes that belonged to Lululemon. So something about that was just not adding up, right? Because how were they clean, but there was a shoe impression and bloody footprints that matched those shoes.
I know, huh? So then how did that work out?
Brittany told investigators that she was walked by the attackers to the front of the store so she could lock it. And the shoe impressions matched Brittany's, and that there were men's shoes impressions there too. But those men's shoe impressions were always on top of Brittany's shoes impressions. Mm-hmm. And all through the store. And it was concluded that the bloody large footprints were made after all the woman bloody footprints. They weren't made at the same time.
Because they dry separately.
Yeah, and during a struggle.
Yeah, okay,
so they weren't, because let's say you're struggling with somebody, como dice ella, somebody's walking you to the door. The footprints are going to be like next to each other, right?
No, y luego como que vas batallando and then you kind of trip over each other y como que they're not in the same spot.
They're not
I would think.
They're not going to be right on top of each other. There's no fucking way.
Yeah, there's no way, yeah.
So the footprints went all around the store and then went to a sink in the back room and stopped in front of a chair. That lets them know that the person that was wearing them took them off y los limpió en ese sink. Los lavó de abajo.
Okay.
But there were bloody shoelace marks on that floor that went from the sink to the center of the store. And those shoelace marks match Brittany's shoelaces. See, I don't think people think about shoelaces like that.
Yeah, porque se te desamarran, güey. Right?
Sí, güey, pero it's the science.
It's because it's believe in the science.
It's the science. And I don't think people that commit crimes think that far ahead or that don't think that they're going to get caught. Obviously,
we wouldn't have a whole fucking podcast about people doing dumb shit if that was the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Detectives reached out to Brittany and asked her to go to the police headquarters to give him fingerprints and hair samples of DNA for elimination purposes. Mm-hmm. You know, something that they do on the regular.
No, but es que that's how you get them, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cuando llegó, she had to wait since the technicians that would collect the samples were, quote unquote, delayed.
Según estaban ocupados.
Estaban ocupados. Mm-hmm. Detectives Drury, and Ruben started asking her some questions about Jayna's car while she was waiting for these technicians. Uh-huh. And they asked her if she knew what car she drove, and she said that she didn't know. And I think she said that she remembers she had only seen it once or something like that. They asked her if Jayna had ever given her a ride or anything of that nature.
Yeah.
Brittany said no.
No. Okay.
And detectives right there and then, they caught her in a lie because her blood had been found inside that car.
Her blood herself?
Yeah, Brittany's blood.
Okay.
So then she recounted her story a third time. And it didn't really change from the first two, or, it didn't make it too obvious that something had changed from her previous couple of stories that she did. So it was consistent.
And I don't know if people have realized this, but a lot of the times, like when I watch like ID and shit, like all those shows, cada vez que they say that it's not normal when you don't have a change in the story because of the fact that a lot of the times,
a big change, nothing like that's too obvious.
Major, pero porque a lot of the times, like your brain, like you're so scared que you're shut down,
like no te acuerdas,
güey. And that makes sense because I barely remember half of the shit that I did yesterday. So, like, you imagine if I'm under stress, if somebody's telling me open the door, close the door, do this, and then I hear that they're killing my coworker, bitch, I'm not gonna remember what the fuck happened.
They actually would catch Brittany in another lie because they asked her if she had a boyfriend and if she had had sex recently. Uh-huh. Because if that were the case, they would need a DNA sample from her partner to eliminate him from any semen that was left behind by the attacker. So Brittany les dijo que no. And she was very definite no. Porque dijo que her attacker / rapist had only entered her briefly. And she also told them that she had not had sex in more than a week before the attack.
So then you're telling me that this rapist that is enraged and wants to rape you is only going to enter you one time?
No, she briefly. She said.
She's lying, dude. Something's up.
Obviously, when she was taken to the hospital, Brittany was giving a rape kit.
Yeah.
And while it didn't provide any evidence of rape, it did show traces of semen that was less than a week old.
Oh, so she had been having sex.
And apparently Brittany was telling a couple of her co-workers that she had had sex with somebody 2 days before the attack. So, why lie? That's a weird fucking lie. That's weird.
That's a weird lie.
Why are you lying?
First of all, but why would you tell your co-workers that you're having sex with someone? First of all, because I don't think that anybody gives a shit.
But if you think they're friends.
I guess. Okay.
Yeah, they're friends. They're considered friends, you know?
Yeah. Okay.
So the very next day, Brittany returned to the police headquarters wanting to get something off her chest.
Is it algo en el chest?
Yes.
Yes.
She told detectives that she didn't tell them everything previously in regards to Jayna's car. Les dijo that she had been inside Jayna's car and had driven it per the attacker's instruction to a different parking lot. And that it happened right before she was zip-tied and sexually assaulted.
Oh, so they tell her.
She drove the car alone. No one went with her.
That's what I'm saying. So they tell her, vamos, you're going to have to go drop off this car at this spot, park it there, leave it, and then come back so we can sexually assault you. That makes no sense.
She continues on and says that they told her that one of them was going to be watching her the whole time, so que no abriera la boca, or she would be considered, or she could consider herself dead.
How? But you can run away. What the hell, bitch?
Espérame. Dijo that she parked the car and walked back to the store.
Hell no. First of all, if you're going to kill me, might as well come pick me up. Because I'm not walking. I'm not fucking walking nowhere,
Si me estás amenazando
I mean, si me vas a amenazar
de muerte,
you're going to have to come pick me up, motherfucker, because I'm not going to walk nobody.
Detective Drury asked her if, when she was walking back, if she didn't fucking run into anybody.
Dude, for real.
On the street or something, right?
Yeah.
And she was bloody, obviously. Ya la habían atacado in some way. You think if somebody saw her, it'd be like, hey, do you need assistance? Like, are you okay?
Or
do you need help?
blink at me or something?
Yeah, like you need
shit.
help. So Brittany dijo that she did come across people, pero que no le dijeron nada.
No le preguntaron. They
No le
didn't ask
preguntaron.
her.
Well, yeah, and that kind of made me think, and it's true because I feel like, especially now in today's time, like if you come across somebody, like who actually goes up to somebody and asks them, hey, are you okay? People
But that was in 2011, dude.
That's true.
That was in 2000. In 2011, it wasn't as bad as it is now. Maybe it was.
But we just didn't see it.
Yeah, but not only that, pero like personally, yo soy bien metiche, güey. Like, si yo miro que están ahí.
No, but that's different.
Sí, but what I'm saying is like, I'm going to be like, hey, are you okay? Like, do you need any help?
Do you need me to call 911?
Yeah, or blink twice if you need me or something, pero nada.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I just don't understand how far. Can you repeat for us how far the parking spot was?
3 blocks.
Okay, 3 blocks. That's a fucking long. That's a long way.
For you not to run into anybody.
Exactly.
But she's saying that she did run into people.
Yeah, but let's say it's 3 blocks, right? Pero they're watching you, bitch. I can't see from here to there.
Fuck no.
Nobody can see you in 3 blocks, bitch.
No.
I can't see the neighbor's house from my house sometimes. I'm like, who the hell's that out there? I can't even see. You know, like, what makes you think that this But, okay, maybe she was scared. You never know.
Maybe she's trauma. So Detective Drury and Ruben decided to confront her straight up.
These motherfuckers are some fucking, like, they don't give a fuck, huh?
They're like, I'm gonna tell you. And they told her that they didn't believe her story. They told her, again, just fucking straight up, why did you kill Jayna?
Damn, like, les vale madre. I'm telling you.
And she started saying that she just wanted to go home. Like, as previously, before they just straight up confronted her, she was being very cooperative or whatever, if you want to call it that, and just answering their questions.
Mm-hmm.
Y cuando le preguntaron esto, hey, ¿la mataste? She's like, I want to go home.
All of a sudden, she's ready.
I want to go home. Toda esta Dorothy and stuff.
Oh, yeah, she wants to go home like that.
I want to go home. And they kept on her. They were just like, no, why did you kill her? Did she do something to you? Did she do something to make you angry? Why did you kill her?
Like, they kept asking her, if she would break. Okay.
But she just wouldn't budge, you know?
Okay.
So Brittany had actually gone to their headquarters with one of her brothers, Chris, y su hermana Marissa, con la que vivía.
No, porque ellos eran muchos. Like, she had a lot of brothers, right?
Yeah, she had 4 brothers and 4 sisters. Mm-hmm. So metieron a Chris into the room, and the detectives left. And obviously the room was being recorded or surveillance.
Monitored, yeah.
Yeah. So Chris le preguntó a Brittany if she had done it. If she had killed Jayna. Mm-hmm. Because at the way the detectives were laying it all out there, it made sense. He was like, it makes sense to me what they're saying. So I'm asking you, did you kill her? And if she did do it, she needed to tell him so they could get a lawyer that would defend her. And Brittany, if you didn't do it, somebody would be like, somebody was innocent, they would be like, no, I did not do it.
Especially to somebody you know. Like, if
Your
you would
sibling.
come in, yeah, if you would come in and be like, Barb, did you fucking do it? I'd be like, yeah, man.
Or if you were to ask me, you'd be like, hey, did you do it? I'd be like, you know what?
Yeah,
maybe.
I did. I ain't gonna lie.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
I ain't gonna lie.
Pero Brittany, what she said is, I don't want to talk about it here. I want to go home.
I think she knew that she was monitored. Do you think that she ever told them yes or no, that her brothers and sisters? I wonder.
Well, detective knew that they couldn't let her leave.
Yeah. No, but se va a ir, güey.
She was a flight risk. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So Brittany Norwood was arrested 1 week after the murder on March 18th and was charged with the first-degree murder of Jayna Murray. So she never made it out of that headquarters because they arrested her.
Immediately they arrested. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Uh-huh.
So that same day of Brittany's arrest, Jayna was being laid to rest.
Ay, no.
Yeah.
Pobrecita.
And almost 200 people gathered at the Forest Park, the Woodlands funeral home.
I know, we can go see her, dude.
Yeah, actually, the Woodlands is like maybe an hour outside of Houston, not
Yeah.
even, depending on the traffic.
Depending on the traffic, but
Yeah.
not only that, but actually, there's more than one that we've been wanting to go see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And actually, also in attendance were the founder of Lululemon, Chip Wilson, and its CEO, Christine Day. So they
That's
showed up.
awesome. You know what? First of all,
Maybe I need to go find a job at Lululemon.
bro, Lululemon just they like took care.
They
of
sound like
her.
they sound like a good company.
I was thinking about that, and you never know, they might hire me. A lo mejor no, because I would be like, y'all want me to wear Lululemon, y'all gonna have to give it to me for free.
No, I think you get a discount, and they pay so you can take like yoga and stuff, which we already do yoga.
Might as well.
And they sound like
I don't
they sound
do
really
yoga
awesome.
very well, but you know they do sound.
I think we do yoga. I think we do yoga pretty well.
No, pero sabes qué? Que it sounds like a company that you can grow in there,
Yeah.
and I think that
They support.
they support. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so awesome. But I'm glad that Chip. Is it that name Chip?
Chip Gaines.
It could be a chip, a Dorito,
Yeah.
a Taki. You never know.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So actually, the Murrays received a call from detectives in that moment.
In that moment, dude?
When
The
they were
fuck?
driving, to let them know that they had made an arrest and that it was Brittany
¿Te
Norwood.
imaginas eso, dude? Que estás ahí como que ya enterrando tu loved one.
And one of her brothers, I can't remember if it was Hugh or Dirk, they were saying, we felt so bad for Brittany. We were actually thinking about sending her flowers, because her and Jayna went through this together. It just happened to be that Jayna was the one that was murdered. Wow. So they felt so much sympathy for Brittany because she had también gone through it. And they were like, we felt so bad for her. Pero imagínate. And then they get this call that they're telling you that she's the one that's being arrested for the murder of your sister.
I know that you fucking you say that your coworkers are not your friends, but you literally see them sometimes more than your own family. So
I have a coworker that's my friend.
Yeah, like your friends. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying, like, dude, that's your friend, bitch. Like, what the fuck? Like, you know how I feel about my coworkers. I feel like I'm very open with my coworkers, and I have coworkers that I used to work with that I still talk to
Same.
like years that I still talk to, and it's like, you imagine like learning that somebody hurt you, like, or hurt somebody that you know like that. That's
and that
crazy.
you would see on the regular,
What the fuck?
It's insane. Mm-hmm. Now, this is what is believed to have happened that night, or what led to the events that took place that night.
Okay.
Brittany hadn't been at that Lululemon store long.
Yeah, you said about a month.
About a month,
Yeah,
right.
uh-huh.
And she had actually been transferred from another store in Georgetown because she had been suspected que andaba robando.
Oh, she has sticky hands.
Yeah. And since she arrived at the Bethesda location, the Lulu girls themselves were sus of Brittany since their personal belongings and cash would go missing. And it all quinky-dinkily had started cuando llegó Brittany.
What the hell, dude? No mames.
So 2 days before Jayna's murder, the store's leaders, which included Rachel, the manager, and Jayna was there too, had a meeting about Brittany. And they just needed to catch her red-handed because they were planning to fire her.
Because I'm pretty sure Lululemon, like, they probably
needed
are
to be
so
documented.
nice. Like, they're probably like, no, we have to give them the benefit. We have to see it. So they were probably like, if we don't catch her red-handed, they're not going to fire her.
Right. You needed to be documented.
Yeah.
That Friday, Jayna was actually not scheduled to work, but she had switched shifts with one of her coworkers who had asked her because Jayna didn't work Fridays.
Holy shit.
And it was protocol for the employees to show each other's bags before they left to check for store merchandise.
Merchandise?
Merchandise. And often the girls compraban Lululemon throughout the day. And,
like, if they have a sale or something, let me get it real quick.
Or they would get discounts on my lunch breaks, yeah.
So, me quieren dar un little discount, Lululemon?
Yeah, so sometimes they did find Lululemon in each other's belongings, but they always had a receipt, so se los enseñaban.
Yeah.
So when Jayna checked Brittany's bag that night, she found a pair of yoga pants with the tags still on and no receipt. So Jayna le preguntó...
Dude, pero like no le valió madre? Like she didn't give a fuck. Por lo menos trata de esconderlos, güey. She just opened her bag. Like,
so
what the
hubiera
fuck?
puesto algo.
Yeah.
Jayna asked her if she had bought them, and Brittany le dijo que sí, that it was earlier in the day and that another coworker had run her out. So Jayna wanted to check the computers for the purchase, but everything had already been shut down. So esta Jayna le dijo a Brittany that they would look into it the next day, de todos modos, but that she was going to have to tell Rachel regardless.
Oh, wow.
So they both left the store. And just like the very beginning, Jayna walked to her car and Brittany walked to the subway metro station. Y cuando Jayna was walking to her car, she called that coworker que Brittany le dijo that supposedly had run her out.
Para saber, hey, did you ring this girl? Okay, I get it. Uh-huh.
Y la coworker le dijo que no.
Oh, shit, no mames, güey.
Le dijo que no. And then, so colgaron, right?
Yeah.
Y luego Jayna le habló a Rachel. Y le dijo, hey, I caught Brittany with these yoga pants inside her bag. Y Rachel, they were like, finally, we caught her.
It's time.
She'll be fired tomorrow.
Fuck, bitch. ¿Y cómo sabía la otra, la Brittany, que le van a poner?
They hung up otra vez, and Jayna got in her car. She was driving home. Y le sonó el teléfono a Jayna. And it was Brittany, también, just like the very beginning, telling her that she had left her wallet in the store and if she could go back.
Wow.
Y Jayna had forgotten her laptop at the store. So por eso Jayna le dijo, yeah, I'll go back. I forgot my laptop. I'll meet you there.
Wow,
So that's when they went back to the store. Yeah. So Jayna opened the door around 10:05.
She was being nice because she didn't have to go back.
No.
I know.
So Jayna opened the door at 10:05 and disarmed the alarm. And around 10:10, Apple employees, remember Apple was right next door,
yeah,
said that they heard strange noises and shouting through the wall, saying, quote, talk to me, tell me what's going on. And according to these Apple employees, they thought that the employees next door, Lululemon, were just having like a spat, that they were just arguing.
Bitch, how the fuck you just gonna listen and not go over there and check on anybody?
Are you not chismosos?
I mean, bro, I'm chismosa. I would be like, hey, girl, let me go ahead and go listen.
So they said, okay, so they actually, when they were hearing these shouting words, the Apple employees ponieron la oreja on the wall, and they walked away from the wall at 10:19. When the noises started to become quieter, es porque Jayna se estaba muriendo.
Ay, no. Qué horrible.
Now, Brittany's shoplifting tendencies went way back, and she had apparently stolen from family members, people that she knew from her childhood, and that she was actually kicked off her college soccer team from stealing from her teammates. An old teammate told the Washington Post that Brittany was sweet and funny and a great soccer player, but that, quote, that girl was like a klepto. End quote.
No, but es que tenía sticky hands. Sticky hands.
Sticky hands. Where are you sticking them to?
Oh, Lululemon pants, apparently. Dude, literally, if she really did do this, Estela, she did this over fucking yoga pants, bitch.
Now, other teammates también said the same. That she was nice, that she was a great leader on the field, but just don't let your shit near her.
Ay, no, que feo. Like, be known for people be just taking your shit, dude. Like, what the fuck?
And she actually, también Brittany, something in her background, she even had a restraining order against her in 2007 and 2008. So, aparentemente, she was stalking an old boyfriend and his new girlfriend.
Bien tóxica la compa.
And broke into his house. It reminded me of Brenda.
Yeah, Brenda Delgado.
Yeah.
One of our past episodes, guys, if y'all want to listen to it.
She broke into his house, and which she actually still had the keys to, and then she started stealing some of the new girlfriend's possessions.
She's not like, I like this shit right here.
And something else in Brittany's life that painted her in a light different from what people knew her as or saw her as were that there were text messages found in her phone that led prosecutors to believe that she was involved in sex work while working at Lululemon. And that
which is nothing bad, nothing wrong.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. And there was also a posting on Craigslist offering Brittany's quote unquote personal services.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Maybe that's how she maintained her lifestyle. You know, she was very bougie.
You did say she was very bougie and stuff. Yeah. But you know what? There's nothing wrong with that.
Just don't be fucking killing people.
Don't kill
Whatever
people.
You want to do with your life, girl, don't worry about it. Do you, boo. Keep your hands to yourself. Don't be fucking with other people. And don't be fucking murdering people.
Don't murder people.
So the case against Brittany for Jayna's murder went to trial about 7 to 8 months after she was arrested. And her defense team wasn't trying to deny that Brittany killed Jayna.
No, pues ya que les queda, güey.
But that it was a crime of passion. That she lost control and it was not.
She blacked out.
It was not premeditated, which was second degree murder.
Yeah.
So the prosecution had to prove that it was premeditated. And it began when Brittany called Jayna to return to the store.
Oh.
They explained how the attack on Jayna began in the back rooms, and that's where the steel merchandise pegs were kept. And that's when the Apple employees kept hearing.
That's probably she knew where they were at.
And then they think that Brittany was telling Jayna, tell me what's going on, because Jayna maybe had let it slip that she was going to talk to Rachel. And that's why she was tell me what's going on. Like, what are you going to tell Rachel? You know, what's going to happen?
Holy shit.
Brittany hit Jayna on the head with one of the pegs in that little hallway. And that's what took her by surprise, you know? But she didn't fall right away. But she fought
back. She fought back.
She dropped her purse, and then she managed to run towards the front of the store, but only made it to where the flat screen TV was, which was across from the fitting rooms, before collapsing and knocking the TV over.
Yeah.
Jayna, that's when she then tried to run to the back exit in that little hallway.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
That's where
ya ves que no había like steps outside.
But she made it to the door.
She
only made it to the door.
Okay.
And that's when she was cornered by Brittany, and that's where Brittany viciously attacked Jayna. After that happened, Brittany then moved Jayna's car, sat in it for a while.
That's where the cops saw her.
Yes.
Okay.
And while she was sitting in the car, she came up with the whole story of what she was going to do.
Dude, what the fuck? That must have
went back to the store and created a chaotic scene. She then proceeded to cut herself up, tied herself up, and waited till she was found. Which was, she laid there, let's say she laid there from like 1 in the morning.
Body?
From like 1 in the morning till like hasta que llegó Rachel. Como casi las 8 de la mañana.
No. That girl, something was wrong with her, for sure.
Testimonies lasted 6 days, and then it was up to the jury, of course. So on November 11, 2011, Brittany Norwood was found guilty of first-degree murder. And she was sentenced in January 2012 to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Damn, dude.
And Judge Robert Greenberg said that what she had done to Jayna was so brutal that he saw almost no chance of Brittany ever being rehabilitated, which I agree, personally.
Same.
And he said, quote, after every blow, you had a chance to think about what you were doing.
Damn.
You mutilated this woman. Because like we were saying earlier.
It was like she butchered her, like estaba haciendo carnitas and shit, like straight up. Like that's a lot. How do you, like her body is so small.
That's the thing. Brittany herself is so small.
But the rage, dude. The rage.
Rage of what, bro? She got caught stealing fucking yoga pants?
Well, I mean, she didn't want nobody to know, I guess. I don't know. But I'm just saying, like, that literally makes you think about, like, how hard was she fucking going at it to where... I don't know how the fuck she went 300 times, bitch.
Do you think let's say she hit her specific, but then the pathologist says Jayna lived through 330 injuries.
Yeah.
And it was the last one that killed her. So do you think that Brittany was hitting her, and then she was like, fuck.
She's going to get away. She's going to tell.
She was like, I can't go back now.
I think that's what happened. I think that's what happened. I think that she was like, fuck, I need to kill her now at this point. And
but she's not dying.
She's not dying. And then the thing is, like I said, she was pure muscle. Mm-hmm. So like, I mean, I'm pretty sure that most of the blows she was getting, like she was fighting back. I'm surprised that what surprised me is that Jayna didn't give more, like, no golpeó más a Brittany, like, porque, like...
Well, es que maybe she really did fuck her up cuando le pegó de atrás.
I mean, maybe. Yeah. You're right. I don't know, but that's crazy.
So, now, Jayna's brothers, Hugh and Dirk, set up a foundation in her name. It's called...
Go ahead.
The Jayna Troxell Murray Foundation.
Which we will post...
Link
on our notes so that you guys, if you want to donate. Yeah.
Which actually funds scholarships at her formal schools and camps. And at the actual Lululemon in Bethesda, you know the facade of the door, que tienen las puertas y lo tiene vidrio alrededor y tiene las ventanas.
To be
just
honest,
like a front door store.
I've never been in there because
No, but I'm just talking about any store.
Yeah,
any store. Like our mall that we go to that has like the strip outside, like those windows outside. Well, Lulu rebuilt the front of the store with stained glass, like above the door, the front doors, and placed the word love in honor of Jayna. And it said también that they have her picture inside the store where she's doing yoga.
Oh, that is
actually,
so sad.
You know how I mentioned earlier at the beginning of the episode that she skydived?
Yeah.
She actually recorded it and it's on YouTube. So you could see it.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that's the story, that sad story, the sad case of the death of Jayna Murray.
All I have to say is don't be trash. Please stop killing people for no reason. Don't be
Barbie,
cucaracha.
Exactamente. Why?
Why, dude? I just cannot explain. No, not explain. I cannot fathom why. Like, por unos pantalones, güey, like seriously? Like, why? Because somebody was going to say.
And that's the thing. Se fueron. Y le habló para atrás.
Para atrás, sí, güey. Sí. O sea, she wanted to fucking hurt her. She wanted to hurt her because she was like, oh, she's going to tell on me.
And then what am I going to do?
But I just feel like, think about it. Like we said, okay, was she like, okay, I'm going to hurt her and then just like beat her ass? Because I'm like, bro, let's throw hands.
Maybe she just wanted to throw hands, but I don't think Jayna's that kind of person.
I know, but I'll be like, hey, let's throw hands. Like, hey, bitch, you talking shit about me?
Why
but you're lying. You're stealing, dude. Like, what the fuck?
Why are you so defensive? Because you got caught.
Yeah.
You don't need to throw hands. Nobody was talking about you. Nobody was saying anything about you. You just got caught.
You just got caught. And that's what the thing is with, unfortunately, with us
people
humans,
get killed for nothing.
Humans, we do get upset and get defensive over shit that we actually did.
Yeah,
that's true. And then you want to throw hands.
Just own your shit.
Yeah, just what we were just saying earlier. Just own your shit. If you're gonna do it, go through the whole thing. Like follow through, bitch. Follow through.
No, well, not this kind of follow.
Not that follow through. But if you're gonna be a fucking
be like, okay, yeah,
sí, yo me robé los pantalones.
I'll pay for them.
I'll pay for them. Like let's fix this, whatever. But I think she was a little jealous of her, honestly.
We don't need to take it to this point. Never take it to this point. And yeah, that's today's case.
Well, thank you so much for bringing that to us and to this light. Like we said earlier, we will link the
everything down below. I actually used this book that helped me a lot, so I'll link it down below too.
Yeah.
So thank you, everybody.
Also, thank you so much for any new followers that we do have. We've been actually noticing that we are getting a little bit more following. We really appreciate it if you just go out there and maybe share. Whatever you do, we'll just thank you. We cannot thank you enough. There's no words that can ever say more than thank you. We do really love doing this and we don't want to stop doing it, but it is hard. But we're trying our best because sometimes we both get discouraged. But then but you know what? It's okay because then things happen and we're like, okay, no, we cannot stop. So thank you for everybody. Shout out to anybody in South Texas
or
and Valle area
or anybody wherever you're listening. It doesn't matter where you are,
day, night, wherever you are. And thank you so much for listening. But if you want to send us a message, which you are
more than welcome to,
send us a message on Instagram at
Cafecito and Crime Pod, or you can send us an email to
cafecitoandcrimepod@gmail.com. Thank you. And you have a wonderful day, night, or whatever you are.
Whatever day ends with Y.
Y.
Bye.